Hello, y'all. How's it going? Um, this is a bit of an unusual stream. You can see I'm wearing green. Usually I can't do that because I'm on a green screen, usually. I'm also, there's a wall behind me, and I'm not in any of the places I usually am. What's going on, you might ask? Well, maybe you didn't read the title of the stream, or the starting soon page that explained what's going on. I got this laptop set up that I've been working out for a while now, and I just haven't found time to put it all together and test it out. Um, and that is what I'm doing today. I put together this whole laptop streaming setup, and I'm hoping that it all works and sounds good. I'm using a lapel mic today that is connected to this little wireless dongle. If the audio sounds weird, I'm sorry. Um, there's room for improvement, I'm sure. Right before the video, let's touch the mic there. Right before the video, I looked up how to put one of these things on, so maybe this isn't quite right. Maybe I need to make it so that it's not quite touching the shirt or something. I don't know, but this looked like the way to do it from the 5-minute video I watched 1 minute of. I've also been working on the rest of the setup, and if there's problems with that, that's also a work in progress. Let me show you what I got going on. That seemed to appear really fast, but whatever. This is basically the same right now that I got going. I'm at my kitchen table. I got my two-screen laptop in front of me that has OBS running on it. It makes it easier if this was annotated. Coincidentally, I made a version of it that was annotated. My two-screen laptop in front of me, and also a monitor. The monitor has a lag-free version of the game that's playing, so I can play the game lag-free. The capture card captures it with a slight delay, and puts it in the thing, captures the audio, so on, so on. Simple enough. They got a stream deck. I actually moved it from where it is in this picture, put it up to the left, see if that suits me better. You realize I have to have my phone near me, so I need to make room on the right there for my phone. I want my phone to be on the right side of me. Um, there's a ring light that's lighting me up. You can see if I turn it off here, there's kind of a big difference between it's on and it's off. And considering that I want to take this to places that perhaps do not have ideal lighting, I think behooves me to have a ring light that I can just put onto my laptop and it lights me up perfectly good. I have a portable switch dock, which is just like the size of a USB hub. In fact, the USB hub I got is bigger than the portable switch dock, so it's pretty cool. It seems to work pretty well in my initial testing. You have to plug it into power before you plug in the switch for it to act as a dock, but other than that, it's working normal style, which is cool. There's a power thingy on the ground, 3 things are plugged into it, and yeah, I think that about covers. Oh, there's a microphone dongle, which wirelessly connects to this bad boy, this Polyland microphone dongle thingy majig, and that's how it all works. I'm hopeful that this setup will be good. You can also see I have a wireless keyboard that goes with my laptop, and I have a wireless mouse. Pretty self-explanatory that. You have a controller, you have a switch. Those are also self-explanatory. My intent, my plan, is to set this up a couple times while I am traveling this September/October, and do like a couple of away from home streams where I, share pictures from my Japan trip and also play viewer levels at the same time. And And I think that'll be nice, and that'll mean that when I get home from that 3-week trip, I won't have to cover it all in one stream after that. I can cover it as I go, which sounds a lot nicer. If anyone can give me any feedback whatsoever on the microphone situation, um, it might be a little hot. Sounded all right from my, like, with monitor testing, but it is going into the red a little bit. Maybe I should take it down a scotch. I'm afraid of it being, like, too low. I don't know, maybe that's silly. But it's still stuff to figure out, and honestly, I'll say I'm not 1000% sure the Stream Deck is going to work right. See, last time, I was saying that the capture card was capturing slowly. It seems to be doing well now that I have set the settings to, set the settings so that the computer is allowed to use as much fan as it wants to, and that seems to help with the capture card stuff. But my Stream Deck is acting extremely slowly, and it's taking a while to do things. Like, let me show you here. Let's say you hit a button, the schedule comes up. This seems to come up, right? But every time it has to do a multi-action, each action is taking longer than it should. Here, I'll show you. I'm going to click the emotes button. That's going to bring up the emotes, and you can see that things are disappearing individually and appearing individually. That's because usually these would happen all at once, or fast enough where it appears to be all at once, but the way it is now, it's just not doing that. You can see there, if I go back to schedule, it's taking a good deal of time to go back and forth. That said, you know, for things that are off-screen while they're moving, like if I just hit schedule here, you wouldn't necessarily know that I hit it like a second or two ago, and that it took that long for it to appear, like, schedule! It takes a bit, but maybe I can just work around it by not saying. Also, I'll say it took a bit to get the classical, oh, they're not in this view. Oh, yes, they are. They just came up very slowly, apparently. To get the heads working correctly. Do I not have sound effects in this view? The sound effect didn't go off. Oh, Jesus Christ. You know, I bet I don't have the sound effects in this particular scene. I think that's the issue. Okay. Ignore the fact that they didn't pop there. That's fine. We're not going to use this scene when we do Mario Maker stuff, so we'll test that a bit later. Make sure that's all working. I can also move the lid of the camera to adjust its aim on me. And I do believe this camera is supposed to be somewhat AI-driven, where it'll, like, zoom in on you or something. I don't know. Whatever. W game? Yes, I agree. How's the audio, by the way? Dove 1. I'm curious. This is a tech test. I'm testing my laptop setup for the purposes of streaming from my laptop when I am out of town in the future, and other such purposes. Hopefully, I'll be able to set this up relatively quickly and get this working in the future faster, without any fuss or muss. Final thought about the setup. I currently have a thing where my OBS on my PC and my laptop are synced. I probably should divorce the two and just update them separately. And honestly, my setup is pretty mature at this point. Doesn't really change that much week to week too badly. So I should be able to do that without much issue. I don't know, thinking about stuff. Let me know how this sounds, let me know how it looks, if this frame rate looks great. Yeah, that's an explanation of what's going on here. Let's just play the game, and I'm just going to see how this feels. Sitting in a chair, at a desk, playing off this little portable monitor, and we'll see how it looks. Okay, if I'm distracted, I'm gonna hit naughty sometime. Let's go, let's do it. I swear to you, I'm good at this. I was thinking about doing... I want to at some point do a stream where I try to do this game as a speedrun, because I've played it so many times. Not exactly making a good show of a proof of concept, but you know, I thought about doing this test as like a speedrun. I guess actually, if I was doing no skips, this would already be busted because any shortcut would be a skip. But let's... Can I do like a timer real fast? Let me just... I'm gonna set a timer on my phone. I'm not gonna set it up on the stream or nothing, because I'm already we already talked a little bit much about the setup, and setting up another thing that I'm not probably gonna use on the go is maybe a bit silly. Actually, hang on. I can do this real quick. I bet I can do this really quick. The laptop is in front of me, after all. Okay, new idea. Let me get a timer and show, and we'll try to see how long this takes. I'm curious how long I can do the first DKC. So let me get live split, I guess. This won't be the most fancy thing in the world. I just have a timer in live split setup. I'll put this down here. Full screen projector. Alright. I'm gonna put this here. And let's... I believe I have it as a... Do I have it as a game capture? I have a timer here somewhere in my setup. Not as one of those. How about a window capture? It's probably window capture. Timer, where's the timer? Stopwatch? That's probably it. Oh, yep, that's it. That'll be it. That's the live splits. Okay, I'm gonna make this big. We're gonna make this big. We're just gonna do as a quick test, no skips, and see how long this takes me. I'm kind of curious. I've done this game plenty of times before, but never with a timer per se. I know that the one time I did all 3 of the DKCs, it took like 4 or 5 hours. And that was with a goofy gimmick where we were switching games after every death. So, just doing it normal style, that, I imagine would be faster. I wonder if I have this set up to... Let me check. No, I don't have it set up to... Okay, no, I can't hit start. I can pause. I can unpause with that. And reset. Okay, I can reset with this 3rd button. Okay. I think this is good. Let's go. This is... let's see. Let's try this. Also, I hope it sounds good. Close enough. I think I probably... whatever. I'm just gonna go as fast as I can. And I guess I should think for a second. And always play as Diddy Kong as possible. Always be rolling through dudes. And I'm gonna say, I'm gonna do the no shortcut. No shortcut, no warps rules here. We'll just deal with it. And the thing about, like, No Warps versus the other alternative is that I don't really know all the shortcuts off the top of my head. Like, going through all those would be annoying. Not really annoying, but, you know, I don't have them, like, committed to memory in the way that I would need to do it smoothly, I think. I said, you know, I've played this game many a time. I'm not really pressing. I feel like if I just play every level at a reasonably good speed, I'm off to a decent start. And, you know, if I were to make it into a regular thing, like just doing runs and stuff, right? If I were to do that, then a good basic baseline would just be, okay, just playing through the game. Not stopping for anything, and also going through Snow Barrel Blast in as few tries as possible. That's the one that's worrying me, is Snow Barrel Blast. I, at some point, was just like, idly trying to get that down to more of a science, you know, just like, okay, you do this, this, that, and the other thing, and then you get through, right? And I'm not 100% sure I can reproduce that as when I get there, but we'll see, we'll find out. This game's not the longest. I did think about doing DKC2, I'll be honest. Just because it doesn't have any level quite as hard as Snow Barrel Blast in it. Like, what, the hardest there would be, Screech's Sprint. I'm not sure if it loses time to lose the Young Guard like that, but maybe. I am opting not to worry about it. A lot of the level here is just going right straight upward, so I gotta imagine that it makes no difference. No, there's a whole part where you're going to the left, to the right. That would make a difference. I will say, in my initial testing on this laptop, I have found that sometimes the audio can get a little bit delayed. And that refreshing the audio, like turning it off and on again, fixes the issue. I wonder if we're already experiencing that. Whatever. It's worth knowing that happens if it happens. Used to happen all the time on my old streaming machine with this capture card. So I know it's a possibility. I already have a perfectly good answer to when it happens. Just turning off the just turning off and on the sound will fix it. But that would require, like, maybe something I couldn't do necessarily during a speedrun, I suppose. Not that I plan to be speedrunning on my laptop too terribly often. Like, nah, this is strictly a for away streams and things of that nature. Not good to die in the first world. This is a very easy boss. I really should be just jump on him. Just jump on him and just pay him a little bit of respect, and yeah. Yeah, not the biggest deal in the world. Minor in the grand scheme of things. I'll say, the portable monitor that I'm playing off is doing a great job. It is, it has good, like, response rate. The colors are reasonably okay. They look reasonably good. At least after some adjustments. It has an audio in there if I wanted to do, like, if I wanted to just use it as a display for some reason. I don't know why I would do that and not just use the laptop for, like, watching stuff. But this seems like the screen seems like a pretty good thing for what it is. It's bigger than a Switch screen. What with it being, like, the size of a laptop. A little bigger than, I think it's like 15, 16 inches or something. I figure, like, you know, bringing it two places, just as simple as putting it in there with the laptop and, you know, hoping for the best. Comes with a sleeve. Comes with a sleeve that it can go in. I am slightly stressing about this level, considering that during, like, the replay, what was it called? The Rare Roulette stream a year ago? Was that a year ago? Jeez. During that stream a year ago, I think this area took me, like, hours to do, but also, I was playing 7 games at the time, randomly switching between them. It makes sense that if you're not just playing this level, you might be caught unawares much more easily. And there, I've acquitted myself. One try on Minecart Madness. That's more like it. I did die on the beaver boss. So, not exactly perfect, but, you know, whatever. If there's any place to die, the beaver boss is not bad for that. I'm gonna skip the thing. And I guess I also just skipped the higher road. Probably the way to go, right? The higher road. You have to go in there with a little more intentionality. That's a word. But you don't have to crawl, so it's gotta be better, right? God damn it. Okay. Eek. One thing I need to get the hang for is, like, looking back and forth between the monitor and the screen with the chat. I'm wondering right now, I have the chat currently in the top and OBS in the bottom. Maybe I should reverse that. So instead of reading chat like this, read chat like this. Maybe that would be a little bit better. Definitely, those screens would be closer together then. Yeah, I'm betting that's actually the way that I got it is incorrect. Oh, I'll also say, by the way, I've turned off the Pikmin for the time being for the laptop stream. I just don't want to push the laptop any further than it needs to, and want to make sure that it has all the power it can muster to put towards the capturing of the game. That said, I feel like it was probably like a wire situation last time, because I did switch out the wires since testing it last week off stream. Maybe that had more to do than just changing around settings and making sure that less things are running. But, you know, I kind of just want to count my lucky stars and just go like, okay, whatever it was, it's good now. Oh, one thing I will note is that a kitchen chair is not as good as a, what am I doing? A kitchen chair is not as good as an office chair, nor is it as good as a couch. So, little uncomfortable, I guess. Whatever. Again, if anyone... If the sound ever sounds weird, say something, and I'll go, oh dear, oh no, and I'll, feel ashamed. I guess I can mess with the mic as well. I did consider getting, like, a big mic for this. You know, like a miniaturized mic, but, I feel like just not having to rely on a good place to put it on a desk or a table is a safe option, and if a lavalier is good, then it is the most portable option. And like the most logical option as well, I reckon, but it's hard to say, right? Like, it depends on if it sounds any good at all. I'll say it's too late to return the lavalier since I waited so long to test it, or the part where it transmits this part. It is not too late to return the very cheap lavalier mic part, so I guess I could return that if I really wanted to, but there'd be very little point to that. It's like I said, cheap. This game's fast. We're already in World 3. We're like 10 minutes in. Nice. It's really not that many levels when you get right down to it. There's no Lost World, nothing of that sort to worry about. You just go through the levels and you beat them in order. I'd be happy with about an hour total, and if we're like a third of the way through, like a half an hour is not impossible. I'm just saying that based on the time. Actually, it's more like 15 minutes right now. Let's be real. And if it's like 15 minutes, that's more like 45. If you multiply by 3, and it's probably not that simple. The levels get harder later. I bet this will be good as far as, like, syncing the audio goes. Like, you can tell when the sound is supposed to go off when the barrel blasts. It's pretty apparent. A lot of this game, you can just charge forward, and you can just charge forward, and if you go at the first possible opportunity, that will give you, you know, that'll be as good as you can get. You know, like, in a lot of the early levels especially, when it looks scary, like, oh, when do I time this? Jeez. When do I time this, this jumping over this beat on this line? Well, just the first time. Just hit the button the first time at the end of it, and you'll go right smoothly over. I'll also say I'm locally recording this. Hey, Chaotic Oven, how's it going? If you had the opportunity to download a car, I guess, I don't know. From who? Downloading a car doesn't make sense. It's not... The thing about that saying that people always say, you wouldn't download a car, is that it doesn't make sense because you're not buying a car for the software on it, or for the brand or whatever. You're buying it because it's a physical thing. It'll take you places, right? If you could copy a car, yeah, why wouldn't you do that? Hell, copy it twice. Give a second copy to the guy who's selling it to you. He just got 2 cars. They just got 2 cars. By the way, honest question. I'm doing a laptop setup stream right now, and also low-key speedrun. Drop frames are 0, so that's good, according to the thing. I'm wondering how I sound, Chaotic Oven. Can you give me feedback? Do I sound good? I hope I sound good because I intend to go through the rest of this game, and if I sound really bad, that'd be a silly thing to have done. Warpless no glitches, that one particularly, I guess, would be the category I'm doing this through real fast. How are you, by the way? Yeah, definitely feeling like rearranging my windows such that OBS is in the top and the chat is in the bottom would make sense. That would also make it more or less aligned with how I have it on my PC, at least according to how my laptop considers, like, which monitor is monitor 1, which one is monitor 2. Obviously, if you saw the image earlier on, these laptops are vertically arranged, but I guess the first one is sort of the... If I just open up OBS, having it just be open on the PC, it defaults to having the chat be in the bottom, I guess. I have it set up so they sync all the data from the laptop to the PC. Like, a lot of the data from the laptop to the PC is just synced using Google Docs, and I have some complicated things set up so that it treats the Google Docs, the Google Drive backup as local, as the same as a local, deal. I think I just have to keep running. It's faster to keep going here. That can be screwy. Indeed, when I'm switching back and forth between PC and the laptop in my initial tests, I do have to, like, uncheck some things and re-log into some things on either end, because they do tend to screw each other up. Second death there. Overall, I mean. Well, this will give us another chance to get Ostrich, unless I don't... That's right, the Ostrich is behind us. Is it faster to do the Ostrich? I wonder. Espresso. I know the name of Espresso. Not good. Oh well. You know, hey. It's been a while since I played, perhaps, all of these levels. Well, whatever. That gimmick stream from... I've done a couple streams where I did these games, but had a punishment for death, right? Like switching games, specifically. And I've done that a couple times, and, you know, I've not gotten through any of these games without dying at least once. Or at least, like, a couple times. Fuck! Couple times, really. DKC 3, I got the closest to getting through without a single death. That first stream, a stream from really early in my like being a streamer. I did switching the first 3 games, any percent, switching every time I died. During that stream, I got to Poison Pond before dying in DKC 3. Got to Poison Pond, and that just really wrecked me when I just took a hit and took 2 hits, whatever, and had to not finish that game in one go by the rules of that gimmick stream. I'll say, for the record, most of the streams from that time have been long lost because that was before I archived streams on YouTube and before I realized, even if I wasn't putting them up, I could have just had them on YouTube for safekeeping. And, they don't require you to have all your videos be public, so you can just put up... I could have just saved all that crap to YouTube for safekeeping. It was before I realized I could do that, but I did highlight that video because I thought it was a good stream. One of the first really good standout streams I did, so that is perhaps... I say perhaps. That is, in fact, the only stream from 2021 that is still, exists. That you could still go watch if you really wanted to. I am sometimes curious about that stream, honestly. Just, like, from my perspective. It'd be interesting to go and rewatch that, and... I say rewatch, I never watched it in the first place, but, it'd be interesting to watch that back a couple years later and, see what the stream was like relatively early, This was before I had the idea of using cards to have things to talk about. I just had to come up with things to talk about normal style. This was before the tries left gimmick was invented. A lot of things were not in place at that point in the channel's history. That said, if I'm just talking like, oh yeah, go rewatch it as like a React style content, it is like 4 or 5 hours long, so would be a very specific... Would be a stream. Would be a long stream that was mostly or entirely that. Here we go, Snow Barrel Blast. This is the scary one as far as, like, levels in this game go. Let's see how many tries it takes me. First half's easy. I've given thought to having that be the gimmick of like some anniversary stream sometime. Maybe like the 5-year one, which would be over 2.5 years from now. That's long enough away where I don't have to think about it. Okay. Okay, 1 death at least. Oh. And we're going the long way again. I want to see how long this would take, no warp style. So it's important not to take any warps. I'll say the monitor is responsive enough where, and like, you know, I'm not at a disadvantage here for playing on a portable monitor in a janky, thrown together laptop setup. Oh god. With those, you just have to hit the button every time they line up vertically. Oh, this must be hard on the capture card with all the white crap. Probably a good test, honestly. Although, in practice, I'll be mostly playing Mario, I believe, while I'm in Japan as, like, away from home streams. So I'm not expecting to see any sort of anything like this, exactly. Fuck. Oh. Okay. Yeah! Oh, God. Scared there for a second. Okay! That was the level I was afraid of. So everything else after this should be much easier. Imagine if I had not rolled as far as I thought I would, and bonked into that dude. If cars were as simple as you just downloading one, people just downloading them wouldn't be that much of an issue, right? Because you could just make as many of them as you wanted and sell them for so little, like, overhead that it's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous scenario because cars don't work like that, and also, if they did work like that, people downloading cars would not be a problem because you'd be raking in the money hand over fist in just terms of not having to deal with a million annoying things with production lines and all that. Oh. My back itches. I think in this case, better to go get espresso. Oh, espresso's fast. Probably earlier, I should have also doubled back and gotten espresso. That probably would have been a... Oh. Well, that would probably disqualify it from any, like, sort of, you know, submission, but this is just for curiosity anyway. Just as a test. I've been playing so many retro games, like, just rewinding so freely, it's easy to just reach for that. I guess you can't flap when you're falling if you haven't jumped before you fell. Yeah, it's definitely slower just for What? Oh, God. Alright. Okay, let's just relax. It's fine. Doesn't matter. This is all for fun. I forgot that that's the sound that they make. Steel drums. I guess what other sound would they make? Yeah. Okay. Octopus Chase. We're getting down to it. Been like a half hour. Other things about the setup to consider. I'll say again, my main thing that I'm thinking right now is I think it might be best to give up the idea of it being parity with the PC. Not just because the Stream Deck is acting weird, but also because, well, there's multiple reasons, right? Well, one, the Stream Deck is acting weird. Two, bringing the Stream Deck for hotkey purposes means that I have to bring the Stream Deck, which is kind of big and bulky relative to not using one. Also, whenever I log in on my on the laptop or the PC or vice versa, because it's updating the files that the other one uses, it's causing like weird synchronization issues where I have to like log in, unlog in, and relog into Twitch on either side, and that's not it's not ideal. I guess it comes down to, like, what do I need to put on a stream whilst in Japan? Maybe a stripped-down OBS setup would be just what the doctor ordered. You know, like, just literally make a copy and start taking out everything that's unessential. Like, I don't need the randomizer setup stuff. I don't need most of my scenes when it comes right down to it. All I need is the ability to make the viewer level thing come up. Pop the heads as they come. Administer the randomization of the heads. Most of these things are things I used to do before I got a stream book. Just using various keyboard key combinations. Like Shift plus T, Shift plus R, etc., etc. I could do that again. I could do that again, and the question would be, like, just what don't I need? I guess that's the question. I need schedule. I need the docket stuff. And probably, like, if I'm talking just Japan trip and all, it'd be good if I could bring up, like, an itinerary for the previous week up to that stream and the following week. So, you know, that sort of information would be good. So I need to be able to have like multiple docket type pages that come up. That can be arranged through some. That can be arranged though, so you know that's not that much to worry about. I haven't really used the spoiler thing in ages. I used to. I don't even these days when I'm talking about spoilers. I just sort of say like, "Hey, spoilers." I wonder if this will work. It worked. Good. I feel like it caused the gameplay to stutter a little bit, but I guess this is the first time the OBS on the laptop has seen that, so maybe it had to go load it or something screwy like that. I suppose it's possible that the Stream Deck setup being not local to the laptop and sort of using a there would be some things I would lose. For instance, for thumbnails, what I do right now is I have a Stream Deck shortcut, a macro, that does all the steps I need to make a shadow. And if I didn't bring my Stream Deck, I would have to make them manually by doing a bunch of steps, which isn't ideal. It has more of a pain in the ass, but I can manage that. I don't need any sort of desk cam / couch cam management. I would only have the one cam and the one microphone. And as a result, like most of the camera control stuff is specific to my Instalink camera, which is not coming with. So I can cut most of those commands, most of those hotkeys are a non-factor on the laptop. Also means I wouldn't have to worry about clashing with those hotkeys, which is one of the reasons why going with the Stream Deck makes things simpler, because then by definition nothing is clashing with each other. They're all individual button presses that don't have to worry about overlapping so much. Whereas, like, if Control F is, you know, one thing to my application, oh, don't go in there, is one thing to OBS and another thing to the Pikmin application. And that's a whole can of worms. Nice, that went really well. Just got 2 worlds left now. Looks like about an hour is one I would estimate right now. Would still like feedback on the microphone if anyone has any to offer. Might be hot, might be cold, might be hard to hear, I'm not sure. I'm just hoping I'm trying to aim for something that sounds mostly normal. And if not entirely in line with normal streams, in line enough. I will say I spent I had the microphone, the wireless part, plugged in a good deal of the day today. So it should be like fully charged, and hopefully it's able to go the distance however long we go. I'm not sure like how long I want to go on those away from home streams, like those Japan streams. Knowing me, I do like to talk. I do like to share. If I have like a week of travels to share and report, you know, and Universal, some sort of theme park experience to record as well each stream, whether that be Fuji Q Highlands, Disney Sea, or USJ. I imagine those might not be the shortest streams in the world, but also, you know, it's all taking time out of a busy schedule, and, you know, I could go to sleep a little earlier, get up a little earlier, and see more things. Then again, I've found, like, on the previous trip, there was plenty of time where, you know, you just want to get home and relax, or get back to, I say home, get to home base and relax. Sit down and watch something. And I'll do that, but instead, I'll stream something. And hopefully it'll work. Fingers crossed. I did buy on the Wi-Fi egg I got, I did buy a thing that has like 10 gigs of data, but I'm not sure like how much. She's juked up by that guy. Juked by that guy. Not sure like how much data a stream really consumes, but I suppose I could look at the file size of the recorded VOD. Another thing to keep in mind, I'm recording these VODs locally on this laptop. This laptop doesn't have like a extra terabyte of storage, you know. I have to be cognizant and make sure that I'm cleaning it out after the upload is successful. Are there other places that this laptop stream could be, this laptop stream setup could be handy? I wonder, to myself. Maybe. I have family. It's not impossible that, you know, I could cat sit or something and like do a stream from parents' house or something. Be a very peculiar case, though. They have said that, you know, that like they do sometimes need someone to cat sit. My dad is very like paranoid about the health of his cats. Would not want to leave them alone for that long. I will say also I did buy another thing I bought. I bought a special, like, mount for the Stream Deck off Etsy, like a 3D printed one, where it sort of holds it up at an angle and is sort of, like, folds flat so it can be carried, like, more easily. It is still a little bulky, and honestly, it doesn't, like, it's not like the tightest thing in the world. It kind of is a little loose. To the point where, before the stream, I said, oh, fuck it, and I went and got a sock and put it between the little footer and the actual thing holding onto the thing, such that it cannot go any further down, and it will stay in place. I figured that would be fine in practice. You know, I will have socks in Japan. That much I can count on. But if I could do this without the Stream Deck, maybe that might be the best choice. Just a little farther on this level? Okay. There's an interesting thing about the camera stuff here, which I read an interesting, like, article about back when, a while ago, where the camera basically locks. the camera in Donkey Kong Country is like context sensitive. In levels where you only need to go right, and you only need to worry about right, the camera lets Donkey Kong go a little bit farther to the left. Whereas levels like this, where you can go and you can be expected to go in any which direction, Donkey Kong stays centered, no matter what you do with him, which is a smart way to deal with that and make it so that this is not where Ungard is. Let's keep on trucking. Damn it. I've not been saving, so if I run out of lives, I guess that would be it. It wouldn't be very good speedrun if I did. Yeah, you gotta start somewhere. I feel like DKC2 might realistically be the one to do in such a fashion if I were to do one in this fashion. Just because I feel like it's a little easier, all things told. The hardest levels are sort of relegated to the bonus world, to the lost world, which means if I'm just doing like an any percent type situation, I don't have to worry about them. Also, you get Dixie Kong. You don't have to worry about having a slow Kong, or one without a cool, powerful ability. I'm noticing how in the corner of my eye, the OBS looks like it's a little bit framey. These guys always fuck me up. I could always not do this ridiculous setup. And again, like right now, the only thing that I need to bring for the capture card is the cap. Right now, the biggest thing to bring as far as like bulk, well, is the Elgato, is the Stream Deck. But like bringing the capture card, fuck, I wanted to go for Unguard there. Bringing the capture card isn't that big of a. It is like, The portable Switch dock that I have is so small, there's practically no cargo cost to bringing it, right? It's just tiny, man. So I might as well bring that with me. And if I'm bringing that with me, obviously my Switch is already going. There's really no concern as far as, luggage space goes. Like, the Elgato is the capture card is the only thing that's really, I would have to bring extra to make that happen. And I guess HDMI cables. I'm gonna get this on guard for safety. I need to bring the HDMI cables as well as a couple more. Oh, jeez. It'd be really good to have Ungard here. Nearly got through all of them. Okay, keep on guard is what we need to do there.
there's a DK barrel down there. I was wondering that. I don't have these levels committed to memory or nothing. I've just played them a few times. Thing about DKC2 that is worth considering is it has a lot fewer water levels. In fact, basically none. Water levels aren't great in any game. I'll say something I'm gonna say during the next stream. The other day I was a little bored, so I just pulled up Starfy randomly and checked that out. I don't think that game is good. I'm just gonna say it. I've heard it sort of like compared to Kirby as like, yeah, it's like a baby's first game, baby's first platformer. I guess, kinda. It's like baby's first platformer if baby's first platformer involved like talking to a lot of NPCs in Japanese where you can't actually read it. Not the game's fault, you know, it was never localized or nothing, but still, it's a little weird considering they put it out untranslated on the American Switch online now. And they don't say it. It seems like the sort of game where you just sort of... First one, every level is a water level, so jot that down. This part of the platformer is just the bread and butter of those Starfy games. I guess that makes sense. Dude is a starfish, but... yeah, no, water levels are bad. So, it'd be better if there weren't... if it wasn't like the bread and butter of this whole entire game for children. This is going much smoother. That, and it's a lot based around, like, going into areas, getting items, talking to NPCs, and, like, coming out, and just things happening on the map that don't really make sense. You would think it'd be a very, like, just gameplay-forward game. Just, oh yeah, go places and collect keys and stuff, and it's like, no, no, no. You gotta talk to a mermaid, and the mermaid is gonna say, like, something that you can't understand, and I'm gonna go, like, okay, alright. Cool. I don't know what to what you just said, because I don't speak Japanese, unfortunately. Whatever, don't mind. I don't want to be harsh, but it's either a 3 or a 3 out of 5 or a 2 out of 5, I think. Honestly, I don't think you even need the it's unlocalized and the terms of a lot of it is it's weirdly text heavy. You don't even need to bring that in. You can just say like, yeah, it's a platformer where everything's a one level, and there's it kind of feels like mediocre Kirby. Like if Kirby didn't have the spark of life in it. Kirby didn't have copy abilities. Other things that made you feel alive as you played it. Jesus. It's important to think about this level, considering that my next level is in Mario Maker is planned to be a dark level, and I need to figure out what its deal is. I said this level in particular, not going to be in the model, because I've already done a level like this one, where the lights turn on and off. what I need to look at more would be something like loopy lights. Yee. Something like loopy lights where you hit a switch and the light turns on. That would be more ideal, I think. I mean, that's the plan right now, but it's really early in development. Ideas are still coming to light. The amount of dark versus light parts really hasn't been figured out. By that I mean, in looping lights, you could just, if you're going really fast, just have the lights stay on, and you don't have to worry. But is that good? Is it better where sometimes sometimes you will essentially have to be in the dark? Maybe. I'll show you my chair after I finish this, which is just one world away unless we die, and then it's over. Unless we die and lose all our lives, specifically. I am finding for long periods of time a kitchen chair is awkward. A kitchen chair is good for the length of a meal. That is to say, around like 10-15 minutes. Longer than that, and you begin to realize, like, I'm sitting on a bunch of wood. No cushioning. No nothing. I suppose it's worth noting that if I do hotels in Japan, these chairs will also be funny and weird, and I'll just have to deal with it. That's just how it goes when you travel. So perhaps this is just preparing me for what it'll be like. What it will be like. I feel like I'm not hearing some of the sound effects there, but could be fine. Dang it. I guess this stage is also an interesting one that could be used as a point of reference, honestly. You could do something with this concept of a level where you have to continually hit switches. It wouldn't be hard to imagine something like this in Mario Maker neither, just key switches. That's what this could be. You're just running across a field of key switches, maybe with some sort of snake block auto-scroll element, such that you can't like hold up. You can't like stop. Ah. Wait, it doesn't matter because this is now completely invalid as far as no warp type stuff goes, but would the barrel here count as a quote-unquote a warp? Do you have to go like the full distance? Let's just do it. It's not hard so long as we have Kongs to spare. I wonder what the rules are for that. I don't know that would count as a warp, because that's just To me, that's the default. It's also not hidden, so that kind of makes it different from the ones that are a little too high to see, a little too low to see, in some of the other barrel blast type levels. I wonder how this mic picks up size. I'm guessing probably not super duper duper well, if I had to guess. I'm guessing size are not its strong suit. Wait! That counts as a warp, doesn't it? I always like to go through here and get the Kong barrel. For safety, you know. That's instinct taking over. Call it no warps-ish. I guess. I don't know. It's not gonna be like submittable, nothing you know. This is just a test and all, but I'm just more interested to see, like, how fast I can do this. And clearly, like, we didn't need to do that. Like, that was a waste, even. So, unnecessary in multiple respects. Like I'm seeing screen tearing on the game itself. Well, no, it's not tearing, it's just that that's the effect. It just is like ripples in the background. Looks a little odd. Like lines moving down the entire background layer. Not that many levels left, just this loopy lights and, yeah, the last one. Platform Peril. And then 2 bosses. I could, you know, I don't have to do Mario Maker for all the away streams. In fact, I'll see it. Mario Maker, the way it's been going right now, tends to get a pretty full queue, and I do worry about, like, just, you know, if I'm on vacation, I'll want to end the stream, like, at a good, reasonable time. That'll mean I'll have to, you know, probably will start in the lightning round in all those streams. Maybe it'll be fine, you know, I'm not gonna worry about it. This is a good level just to see, like, what it looks like when it's all dark. Because, yeah, you know, when the lights turn off, it is well and truly dark. And it looks good on my monitor. Look good on the preview monitor. Yeah, it looks like a pretty good capture. As if... Looks like it's capturing it pretty good. How about that? I say that. I think it's probably, like, stuttering a little bit. And as far as, like, the stream is concerned, it's not registering any drop frames or anything. So any drop frames are on OBS's side. Maybe it would be simpler if I didn't insist on doing specifically a stream from the capture card from a game on the Switch whilst in Japan. You know, That would be easier if Mario Maker wasn't my main thing, and I could just go like, okay, I'm gonna do Paper Mario Randomizer from while I do this. That probably wouldn't be very good. That could go long. That could go short. It's all random and all. That wouldn't be a good one for a vacation stream where I'm trying to just be playing something and hanging out and go over my trip details. I feel like on the Game Boy Advance version or something, or one of the versions, that claptrap doesn't move, and it's kind of odd. It just stays in place. That last one, can't remember 100% what the deal is with that. If that was like one of the online versions or one of the Virtual Console versions or the Game Boy Advance version. Never played the Game Boy Color version, so it wouldn't be that one. But yeah, one of them versions. Those ports are weird. I hope they come to Game Boy Advance Online sometime, because they are, like, significantly different from their SNES counterparts, more so than the Mario games, which are pretty much just scaled-down versions, or rather, the screen is smaller, and it shows less of the levels, but in the DKC games, they literally changed the size of some of the stuff, of the characters, of the crap. Just to fit it all. And that's just kind of weird if you're thinking about it now, right? Like, oh, you made it so that the Kongs are bigger and the levels are smaller in order to make it look good on the thing. What? You can't just resize the whole... Anyway. Okay. Now, the ideal thing to do here is to throw them at these guys so that you clear the platforms. That's what you're supposed to do. So let's do that. Okay. Beat some bosses, and then we're done. Went the wrong way. And accidentally safety saved. Now with this Neki, has to spit as many nuts as Neki is going to spit. Three now, right? 1, 2, 3. Go in. Okay, there we go. Fuck. There we go. Perfect. Easy. One thing I'm really considering, I should really consider, for both this setup and also my regular setup, is just having a button I can press where I can hear my microphone directly on my stream deck. Because that would help me just to know, like, okay, how does this sound, literally, how does it sound right now, compared to just the background, compared to how it should sound. You know, are there like weird compression artifacts? I'm really not sure if this sounds good. Got one hit here. So we gotta be careful now. Okay, here comes the crown. Last cannonballs here. One more. Good, the camera moves a little bit so you can see what's up with him. Alright, it's all jumps from here on out. Grab some water. Wonder how drinking water sounds with the lavalier mic. Looks like not like much. Good. Oh. I forgot how far he jumps. He jumps to halfway. Got it. Halfway. I'm gonna keep my ditty in reserve. This doesn't make a difference at this point in the game. Okay, this is simple. You just have to relax and get far enough away where you can see the pattern before he's on top of you. Flip through the cannonballs. Easy peasy. Huh. Okay, I'm standing right here. They get smaller every time. You just gotta see the pattern and run under. Smaller jumps. Here we go. And here come the smallest. There we go. That's time. An hour 14. 18. Sure. That's fine. Okay, that's about as long as it takes me to go through DKC, I guess. I died lots. That definitely added a bunch of time. I did also pull up the old pause menu there for like a half second accidentally without thinking about it. So that's probably invalidates it from being submitted or whatever. That's fine. I'm not care. You know, this is just something I'm a little curious on, right? I'll say, like, having played it like that, I feel like I might be better off doing DKC 2. That has less levels that really annoy the hell out of me, and, at least in the 80%, it's pretty reasonable to do. We've been streaming about an hour and a half. Let's, do a little bit of a checkpoint here. Let me just do some quick checks. First off, again, the concept here is I'm trying to give this laptop setup, put it through its paces. I have here an image of that setup. Here's that setup annotated a little bit. I moved things around since the last time I took this picture, but it's basically all the same. I was going to show you the chair. I don't know why I'm leaning in. The mic is on me. You can hear me no matter what. Here's what the chair looks like. It's not bad, but it's a little uncomfortable to sit on for forever. For time and for like hours, I guess. Huh. Let me get that stopwatch down now. Also, we don't need that. Let's check a few things. First off, let me see let me just check and see how I'm doing on like storage. It's been streaming. I have like a terabyte on this laptop, and the local stream copy so far after an hour, the local recording is about, let me see, maybe it can't tell. Not sure which one is the latest one, actually, come to think of it. Let me go into like a details view and sort by date. Okay, so the latest one, it just can't get a ballpark of how much it is. Oh, okay, it's like 7 gigs. So honestly, with the amount I plan on streaming on this, I can easily not worry so much about local recording. How has the microphone sounded? This is probably a good thing to check after an hour of gaming. Let me just go into the advanced properties and make it so I can hear it real fast. And hopefully it doesn't sound bad. I'm fingers crossed that it's been okay. Okay, I can hear it now. It does sound a little bit, gainy. Yeah, definitely gainy. Hmm. Screwing around with it seems to help. There might be a better way to wear this. Also, maybe as I speak up, I'm hitting the red maybe. Hmm. I'm just saying. I'll say like this thing does have a built-in mic, and I can un and we should be hearing the built-in one now. Is this preferable? I would probably wear it around here, but this is like a fancy one that you clip onto your shirt. But it also is pretty cheap, so well, this is like maybe the most expensive version of this. Let me plug it back in. I'll say that again. This was perhaps the most expensive version of it. I don't know. It's hard to say. Hearing my own voice in real time kind of really throws me off. So I'm going to just go like, okay, it sounded all right, and move on. Is there anything else I should consider? Um, ooh, I'm gonna open up Mario Maker. Also, let's just change the basic settings to Mario Maker standard there. Oh, the audio didn't change. Oh, yes, it did. It just took a second, right, because of multi. The aforementioned issue with how slow it seems to the stream deck seems to be acting. Just me, or is that louder than it usually is on the thing? I'm hitting the button here. What I want to do right now, and not worry about Mario Maker stuff right now. note the lag. You see when Mario moves over, that's when I'm hitting Y. And when you hear it... Oh, let me get that down. One second. There it goes. The thing is being a little slow as far as those images go. I hit the button. That's when he moves over. I think that's when you should hear the thing as well. I do think over the course of like an hour, there has been a noticeable audio delay. I'm going to mute all the audio, and I'm going to unmute it. I'm going to see what happens. I guess I'm wrong. No, that's more or less where it was before. No real change in perceivable latency to me. Maybe it's fine. It's really hard to say. Like, sometimes if I'm doing something, and as a result it starts to lag, like if the laptop has to do something that slows all the other stuff down, it will cause the audio to sing. But maybe just playing the game normal style, it won't experience anything of that sort. How about some of... We've tested a little Mario, a little bit of... one more thing to test here. Okay. Oh, also, I should go over to the scene where it's not, like, offset to make up for the to make it so that I could be big while the game was the full size it could be. My stream deck is being slow, so it's taking me a while to get to the scene so I can switch to the right place. It's being very slow. I think I have to do some sort of customized setup. Why is that up? I must have hit that hotkey, that hotkey in the Mario Maker side by mistake. Oh, you know what it's gonna be is that that hotkey that makes the thing appear. No, it's not. Go out, go away, thing. Okay, this wasn't working earlier. Okay, pops are working. Pops are working. That's simple enough. For the trip, for Mario Maker, I need to be able to do refresh lives, all the lives. I need to be able to do the bonus heads. Why is not the bonus heads working? Okay, that's interesting. Oh, what the fuck? One of the bonus heads is like way displaced. And also in the wrong order. What the fuck? That's really weird. The heads are in a or different orders on either one. I've never seen anything quite like that. Well, I'm gonna hope that that's not screwed up on my actual PC setup and not worry about that for now. I'll sort out that problems. I think I am gonna have to bifurcate and split up these two setups going forward because yeah, no, they're too different and them like exchanging data every time I stream is causing issues with one versus the other. Um, Now let's see now. Okay. Is there anything else I wanted to just check to see that worked? Well, I could pull up a timer, but I assure you I checked that already. Timers are working. Um, as are a bunch of the other functionality. If I wanted to do a card, that would work. Yeah, that would work. Why isn't it coming up? Slowly. That would work very slowly. And also it didn't change the card into the put it away mode. So I guess I need to... What the fuck? It's being weirdly latent. Okay, it's figured it out. Okay, cards are working. Near enough. I guess don't change pages on the Stream Deck while pulling or unpulling a card is the lesson there. Yeah, that's a test. That about tests everything that I really need to test. There's a lot of things on the Stream Deck which I can just... Oopsie daisy. I can just sort of show you right now. Like a lot of buttons here that are very specific to the PC that I can very much eliminate or just not have on the laptop side. And maybe that would be better. Maybe I could just have them be on the laptop. It would be a tough thing to go back to because it's been a while since I had to remember like what specific hotkeys do what in OBS. But I think I can probably manage to set something up that's not so hard. Do one more thing here. Let's do a little... Let's do a 3D game. In particular, I want to do a little bit of 3D World. I'm going to change the game on the Twitch side. I'll just do that in OBS. 3D World. Mario. Plus Bowser's Fury. I'm just going to play a little bit of Bowser's Fury, and this is, of course, a full 3D game that is not a retro game, let's say. So maybe this will be good to test and make sure that it works right. This will be a good thing that is that'll help us know that it's you know, a live fire exercise, if you will. Mind you, Mario Maker is the intended game to play for long term. But let's just run around and do some stuff. And see if it gets a little buggy on the capture side. See how the frame rate holds up. How's it as far as heat goes? The air coming out looks a little bit hot. A little bit of this idly recently. Fun game. Fuck. Okay, I think I want Cat Mario here, so let me change into that. The OBS looks like it's lagging a little bit. I'll say again, no drop frames. It's entirely on the capture card. How's that? Is that hot? It's warm. That's normal. I got it connected directly to the PC through a USB-C, USB regular style. The port is supposed to be really good, so it should be really good. Try that again. Third try's the charm. I guess we'll see. I'll look at it after we're done and, you know, see how good or bad it was. If there's settings I can set on my laptop to just spend more energy. I suppose it's worth noting, like, this is at CPU 53% right now, 19% right now, 6%. When a lot of things are moving, it does get up to some high percentage, 30%. I already got this one, whatever it is. %. This is a 9 in this laptop. It is powering 2 games though, but I don't know. I think it should be able to capture 1080p. The screen's resolution is larger than 1080p, so it can play games larger than 1080p. Or, you know, at a higher resolution than 1080p. I'm looking at the OBS, it looks like a slideshow. I like Bowser appear. Which way is the thing? Am I supposed to know which way the thing appears? Let me go get Bowser Amiibo so I can make Bowser appear. And you should still be able to hear me, even though I'm walking away, because, again, lapel mic. I don't know if the range is a factor insofar as, like, how it sounds, but I should be well audible whilst on the move. A thing I could consider, you know, as far as microphone stuff goes, I did used to use, like, just a headset mic, but, this headset's mic kinda sucks. And the previous one, I just think I can do better than that. Okay. It really does look like a slideshow right now. How do I do it? It's up on the... No. Snapshot mode is on down. There we go. Yeah. There's some funny effects during this. Keep in mind, this is intentional. That's just what Bowser mode looks like. Let's put Bowser mode and we'll travel to, I don't know where. I feel like if anything is going to stress this, it's Bowser mode. Right now we're at, right this second we're at like 10% CPU. There we go. Oh, jeez. But see how it's very intense mode treats it. 51%. 50%. It's not going above 50% right now, but it's also getting really framey. No drop frames, the connection is solid. But it looks like a slideshow. And when I move around, it is also, I'm looking a little bit choppy as well. Well, actually, hang on, it does say, I didn't notice, but next to FPS there, next to the FPS, there is a thing that says, like, what FPS it's running at. So I guess it can go down in, like, frames per second. Like OBS can, without necessarily dropping frames. It says like 45.25 right now of 60. Hey. I mean, now it's saying it's like 30-40, so it should be like half. But I'm seeing a slideshow from my end. If it's nicer live, that would be good to know. It's really cool that these boss fights are amongst like tiny versions of the whole entire map. It's just very cool. It's a really cool little thing. I guess the question for me is like, is it just OBS having difficulties rendering it, or is it capture card having difficulties capturing it? Right? Like, if this was running locally, let's say, God forbid, would it be having more problems or less problem? I don't know. Maybe also I significantly overestimated how good an i9 just based on like, you know, 9 and not like an i5 or an i7. Like this to me should be the beefy one. Should be as beefy as it gets, but maybe that's not quite how it works. Maybe the specific SKU map locked. You know, like this thing is more on paper the specs are, but you know it is driving multiple screens and it's doing that. I would actually, right? Like being able to drive multiple screens, being able to do like decently complicated looking video games reasonably well would make it good at these type things as well, and like creative things like OBS and others in that vein. But perhaps that was optimistic, or perhaps the capture card is the problem. I could try my older, crappier one, which I still have. This is you always have to fight Big Bowser after you get into the post game. And sometimes it's saying it has nearly 60 frames per second, and not too bad CPU utilization, but 40 frames per second. Like, this almost makes it look like if I limit it to 30, we would see a performance increase. In fact, I think I can do that for what it's worth. Let me do as a quick test. Okay. I'm gonna go into the HDMI. I'm gonna configure video. Can I set a frame rate? Brightness, contrast, hue. Okay, I can scroll down and there's frame rate stuff there, right? Resolution, FPS, default. Okay, I'm gonna put it in custom, and I can choose highest FPS or 60 for FPS under custom. Really? I can't see 30? I mean, I know it is an HDS HD60, but I feel like I would like to try like 30 just for shits and giggles here. I could also try a lower resolution, maybe? Nope, the drop down has nothing. Just 920 by 1080. I could change the video formats or the color space. I could enable or disable buffering. I don't think there's anything I can really do to improve performance of that at this very moment. I guess I'll say the obvious. Mario Maker, perhaps, less demanding than this. Less demanding. It's less 3D. Do I have to nix that plan? I guess whenever you beat the guy, you do get credits and stuff. You just don't beat him at that point. Just have him get a shine open for you and then stop. I would like to test a little bit more, just a tiny bit more. We're gonna do a tiny bit on Mario Maker 2. A tiny, tiny bit. I'm not even really taking levels or anything, to be clear. I just want to see if perhaps Mario Maker can, if perhaps my computer can manage Mario Maker with a consistent frame rate. To that end, I do have. Let's see, how can we do this good and fair? I think for this, I would like to maybe, first off, I can say it looks pretty good just looking at these menus. But then again, these menus are mostly static. It can manage static things. How well does it handle scrolling? Perfectly well. Perfectly well. Scrolling is easy. What I think I want to do here is just test some levels. And in particular, I would like to test one of every style of level. So how can we do that in a way that makes sense? How about I just go into the World Maker? I go to lead from core spot? What? Did it just say deleted from CourseBot? What does it mean by that? Oh, you know what? I thought it meant like deleted from the uploads, but no, it means one of the levels I was making, I probably made a copy of, and did some saving around, so that's the latest one. That's fine. That's normal. The first world has, like... Let's go to World 7. Third world has one of each archetype in it. Is that right? No, it has 2 worlds. The last world is the one that has one of each. The other ones balance each other out in their unequal representation. Let's do the Night series. Then again, maybe the Night series is not a very good series to test because all those levels have dark backgrounds, like static backgrounds. Whatever, it's fine. They're 2D games. We'll do this series here, and also a 3D world level, which I will decide after beating these 4. This being a Mario Brothers 3 level, I'm expecting to see no problems. I'm expecting this one to just work perfectly good. And indeed, it's looking like 60, 60, 60. These levels are all, by the way, DKC inspired. In fact, I mentioned one of these levels earlier when I was talking about dark levels I've made. One of these is a dark level. Basically, I've tried to use the dark themes to make levels very much like the DKCs. In this case, this is very much a Ghostly Blade type level, where you're going through a forest, an autumnal forest in this case. The wind occasionally picks up, and yeah, deal with that. Okay, that looked like it worked pretty well. I didn't see any drops. Any frame rate drops. Seemed great. Seemed like the capture went perfectly smoothly. Zero-G Refinery. This one was a low gravity level. Based around, like, low-G Labyrinth was the inspiration there. Zero-G Refinery, you can see the similar name. And all. With this one, my main, like, breakthrough was realizing that low ceilings are actually really good with this particular theme and combination. With a low ceiling, you jump and you bonk your head against the ceiling, and that just causes it to be more snappy than it otherwise would be. Again, from what I can tell, this is looking fine. This is looking perfectly good, perfectly fine. I'll say, as far as this test goes, it is frustrating to know that we're not all the way there, that there are still things I need to think about, consider, you know, whether I need to give up the idea of having the Stream Deck with me in Japan, or if... Honestly, like a virtual Stream Deck would be pretty good. And then again... If I could get some sort of macro thing where I could just have... I bet there's probably a better way to do macros, honestly, than the Stream Deck. If I can have the Stream Deck activate certain macros, then I wouldn't necessarily need to bring the Stream Deck with me to access, like, the macro to make the thumbnail good and easy and quick. Then I could just have that option whilst in Japan, and I wouldn't even have to have a big bulky piece of hardware with me. Power Out Bout was the one I mentioned earlier when I was in Blackout Basement. Same idea, except this one takes it in a quite slightly different direction. I guess this one will be useful for all those, like, weird effects. We can at least see that those effects go off normal style. This one's a platform level. This one's a platform level. You ride a platform, and the lights turn on to show you enemies that are coming, and the lights turn off when you have to deal with them. Which I think is a good way of like handling it, right? Like, you can see what's going on, and then you're in the dark while you actually have to face the guys. That just means that it's challenging whilst not being, like, unfair at any point, right? Like, it always shows you they're coming before they actually come. At least until you get to the part where you can just roll. Sometimes you gotta separate from the thing, but you can always see where it is because it's lit up in the darkness, which is pretty damn convenient. If I were to say, like, one thing about this that didn't have it, hey, Mr. Wicked. I'm doing a test, Mr. Wicked. I'm testing out a laptop streaming setup. It seemed to have some issues seemed to have some issues doing, like, big 3D games. But it handled DKC well enough, and, so far it's handling Mario Maker reasonably okay. You found a way to make a moving hot air balloon in Mario Maker 2. Fuck. We were right at the end. That's a perfectly good test. This is an auto-scroller. We don't need to see the ending. You get it. Reverberary Bounty. Now, this is maybe the first time where I might be a little bit stressed out. Moving hot air balloon. That's cool, Mr. Wicked. I'm looking forward to seeing that. This having, like, 300 looking stuff, like 3D looking stuff, it might start to frame up. We'll see if it captures good, if it looks solid. Looks like it is dipping below 60 a bit, according to the OBS. On, 3 Mario New U type levels. I'm seeing some visible, chunking. I've not played Little Big Planet 3. No. I don't think so. I think I played 2 specifically. Didn't super care for it. Found the making to be very inaccessible, and the way that it handled to be not ideal in any way, shape, or form. 3D World will be another test of how this handles more sophisticated graphics. It's funny though, like, definitely. How dare you? It's a masterpiece. Don't care for it. Just, not for me. This game, love it. I feel like Mario Maker, when Mario Maker came out, that was just a big moment insofar as, like, oh, someone made a making game where the interface is really easy, and also the physics are really good. Like, the handling feels more just right. For 3D World, let's play, oh, I really didn't make a 3D World after that series of levels, huh? I guess, oh no, I made Overcast Blast. We'll do Overcast Blast, that's a good one. Test on a 3D World level here, see if the frame rate suffers. I'm playing off the Switch as normal, but it's being captured by a capture card onto the laptop, and also I have a separate monitor for myself to play on, so I can enjoy it lag-free. I'm seeing 60-60 but let's keep on chugging. Definitely not as bad as the fully 3D Land, actual game 3D Land, Bowser's Fury. But still think there's slight reason to be concerned. Again, no, the CPU right now is at like 10%. So it's pretty chill, it's pretty laid back. It's not spending that much energy to do this level in particular. This level is pretty detailed, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's probably, like... I bet a refreshing level would kill it. Now I gotta try a refreshing level and see what that does to the fucking thing. Great. I feel like that went better than the new U level. It's probably a variable, depending on like how detailed the level is, how much stuff is moving, etc. How well it performs, if I had to guess. I'm curious. If it looks fine, like on the VOD or on the stream, that's nice to know. As far as I know, no frames have been dropped. Let me go into Curse World and let me find like. There's a refreshing thing. Let's see if this breaks. Let's see if how the capture card handles this and the laptop. Definitely going down to like 46%, 40%, or 40 frames per second. CPU at 60%. CPU at 62%. Anyway, right now is holding pretty steady. It's okay, 30. 60, CPU at 40. 60 frames per second, CPU at 40. I think that could have been worse. 2D games are apparently easier than the 3D ones, perhaps. Perhaps this will work. Perhaps this will be good. I do wonder if the Stream Deck is adding additional strain. Like, if the Stream Deck, it is acting really slow, and that's making me wonder if it's, like, slowing down the rest of like, the OBS and the other stuff that's running. If I can just do hotkeys without the Stream Deck, then maybe this would run a little bit better. I don't know. I feel like you'd expect it to be able to run, like, just capture 1080p if it's a, like, 1080 times 1.5 resolution system. I don't know. I think we've tested well enough. Certainly I can look at it later on and see, like, how it sounds, how it looks. See if the frame rate was as bad for y'all as it was for me. At least when I was looking at OBS itself and the preview monitor. Maybe I should give up the preview monitor. Maybe that's like... I don't know if the preview monitor makes a difference as far as performance goes, but maybe having the the gameplay on both screens is not really necessary. I can just see OBS at any given time, given the two-screen nature of this laptop. Maybe I should put the keyboard on, and maybe that'll make it so that it doesn't need to just render two screens, power two screens, and then it can just focus on the one screen and maybe get a little bit of performance in general. Maybe there's other performance settings I can tweak to improve it. I don't know. This has been, I think, a productive test, and I will say at the very least that the stream did go up. There was no drop frames. The laptop can stream to a certain extent, though how well it can stream, that is something that still remains to be seen. This has an i9. I thought that meant it would just be, like, wonderful, but I guess the class of i9 matters a lot, I guess, and also what else it's doing at the same time. It's not playing a game, it's just capturing a game, so you'd think that'd be easy. I could try my shitty capture card, I could try more things. I think when it comes down to it, I could try a lot more things. This is a work in progress. Thank y'all for coming by, anyone that came by, hung out, watched me test this crap. Let me pull up the old stream schedule. In 2 weeks' time, I'll be doing variety nights on Tuesdays. It'll be stuff like Metroid Dread Randomizer, or going back and revisiting Heroes of the Storm for the first time in years. Those are a couple streams I had planned, I have in mind, but we'll see when those happens. Will be none next week. I'm just gonna take next week off as far as a Tuesday stream, a midweek stream goes, and just save up for the Friday stream, which, by the way, will continue to happen on Fridays at 6 p.m. Central. There's one in 2 days now, on Friday, and there's going to be another a week after that. And I think I'll just play it cool other than that. Maybe I'll work on this stream setup, but I don't imagine I need to do an entire another stream as a full-on test. Oh, this is an important question. Can it stop the stream? Can the hotkeys that I have to stop the stream stop this stream? Well, the reason I use hotkeys to stop a stream is because I'm usually at my couch and I can't see OBS. Whereas right now I can see OBS, I can see the stop streaming button, I can see the stop recording button. I can just click those buttons. Food for thought. Food for thought. Let me see if I can send anyone on the Twitch side off on a raid. I don't know if that's necessary. Solstice, doing viewer level, send you over there. Perfect, whatever. That's fine. I'll see you later, folks. I'll see you on Friday for viewer levels. That'll be the thing for the next 2 weeks. Just viewer levels Friday, viewer levels next Friday. And the week after next, there'll be some sort of something. I'm hoping to set up Metroid Dread Randomizer and get that working. I currently don't know how you like emulate Switch stuff, so that'll be a learning process. But I'm hoping in 2 weeks' time I'll have figured that out, and I'll be able to do like some sort of Metroid Dread Randomizer thing, which will be a bit of fun. Look forward to that. But like I said, in the meantime, Friday, 6 p.m. Central, viewer levels. And, yeah. See ya, folks.